Hi everyone, this is Sean. In today's video, we're going to talk about whether or not you as a private security officer, if you're able to transport a prisoner, maybe somebody that you arrested, are you able to transport this prisoner to a local police department or perhaps maybe the local county jail? Is this something that is legitimate or not? Guys, I am not an attorney. Nothing that I provide in this video is legal or professional advice. This is my disclaimer to you. There could be errors or omissions inside of this video. There could be some facts that could be occurring in your situation that may or may not be relevant to today's topic. So I highly encourage you to bring forth the information that you have, whatever question that you have, present that to a licensed attorney and ask if this is something legal to do. But this is my personal opinion. So when you make a lawful private person's arrest, there is no law that says that you cannot transport this person over to the local police department. There's nothing. I don't know where some of you guys are attending your guard card course or your basic private security officer course, depending on what state you're in, but I highly recommend that if you haven't yet taken this guard card course, that you look up your instructors. See what their credentials are, because sometimes I get some whacked advice from you guys in the comment section below, and I'm just wondering, oh man, like who trained you? Who told you this? So I'm really interested in knowing. I have received fantastic instruction from, it was previously called the San Gabriel Valley Regional Occupational Program, or the Hacienda Heights Regional Occupational Program in Southern California. I've had the best instructors there. They have since changed around the program. I don't know if it's the same instructors, but I've taken my courses in the late 90s, and then I took some other courses around 2010. So that's an excellent place to train. I don't think that they're existing anymore, but you guys, go to legitimate instructors, see what their credentials are, please. Again, some of the comments are coming in. I'm just wondering who trained you guys. There's nothing that says that you cannot transport a prisoner. There's absolutely nothing. Open up your powers to arrest manual. If you're in California, this is the manual that BSIS, the Bureau of Security Investigative Services, provides. In the manual, it tells you what the procedure is, that when you have an arrest, you call the police, and the police show up. They might cite this person. They might take this person into custody, or they might release this person pending a district attorney review. Those are the three options. But there's absolutely nothing that says that you can't transport this person to the local police department or county jail. But I'm going to tell you right now that it's a horrible idea. But I'm going to tell you what the legal basis for my opinion is. There are two penal code sections. So in California, we have the California Penal Code. Now, the California Penal Code is based off of the MPC, the Model Penal Code. The Model Penal Code is the code that almost every single state in the United States tends to follow. So the legal definition of kidnapping is probably the same as Texas, or even Florida or Oregon. Now, if I'm wrong, you let me know what state you're in and what does your criminal code section say about kidnapping. Same thing with false imprisonment. It's basically the same with some wording change all across the United States. Almost every state uses the Model Penal Code to form their own criminal code sections. So there's two sections that are involved when a private security officer makes an arrest. There's number one, kidnapping. Kidnapping is the unlawful taking of somebody from one place to another using force or fear. That's pretty much the basic general definition of that. But when you scroll down the section, there's actually an exemption to kidnapping. And that exemption is 837 PC, Penal Code 837 PC. If you're in California, that's the California Penal Code for, it's the procedure for making a private person's arrest on somebody else. So if you make a lawful private person's arrest, you are exempt from California Penal Code 207, which is the code for kidnapping. Now, for false imprisonment, that is Penal Code 236. Your state has probably a different section. 236, in a nutshell, is basically the unlawful restraint of one's liberty, the unlawful restraint of their liberty. So maybe you're preventing them from leaving. Okay, you're blocking the door. You have them in handcuffs. Okay, that'd be example of false imprisonment. To upgrade to kidnapping is basically you're moving this person from one room to another against their will, using some type of force or fear. So you're just moving them. Private security officers are regularly charged with these types of crimes all across the United States on a daily basis because they don't understand that they have to make a legal citizen's arrest in order to be exempt from false imprisonment and to be exempt from the kidnapping laws. Dropping off or bringing your prisoner from a lawful private person's arrest to the police station from your post, the sections that will cover that would be the false imprisonment. You're putting them in handcuffs, or you're putting them in the patrol unit, and you're closing the door. You're not allowing them to leave. That'd be considered false imprisonment, borderline kidnapping, because you have to leave. You have to move them from one place to another. But then when you start transporting them, that's when it really binds on 207 Penal Code, the kidnapping, one place to another, against their will, using some type of force or fears, somewhere in that category. I will leave sections. I will cite my authorities in the description box. Please fact verify what I am saying, but I'm very confident in what I'm telling you today. Now, I will tell you right now that it's a bad idea to do that. Why in the world would you transport your prisoner from the post to the police station? Why would you do that? Now, some private security officer might be thinking, well, look, it's taken the police 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 2 hours to get to me. I can't just keep them here, so I'm going to bring them to the police station. This is the problem. At police stations, you might not have an officer that is willing to accept custody. So if you have a chief of police, the actual sheriff, a bunch of administrators, detectives, okay, all these people, they normally don't accept prisoners. They have their own things to worry about. And also, if you go to the front counter of, let's just say, a Los Angeles Police Department station, one of the subdivisions, okay, you go in there, there's a front desk officer. That front desk officer is there for a reason. Okay, maybe this person is really assigned and this person has no physical limitations, but also you get people who have been injured on the job that are at the police station, at the front desk. You have pregnant employees that are at the police station at the front desk, maybe. You have officers that are under administrative investigation. They're just about cleared, but there are just some other procedures that need to be taken into place until they're placed back on the straight. But that's what you get at the front desk many times. You might also have a sergeant that's assigned as the watch commander that might be available at the desk. This person has other duties than accept prisoners most of the time. But if this person who's disabled, this officer disabled, accepts your prisoner and then they get hurt, well, they're going to be on the hook, this officer, for basically subordination, because they're not supposed to be taking custody of prisoners. You take custody of prisoners, there's always that chance that there's going to be a physical altercation, so you have to be in the best shape of your life and have no physical limitations. Just because you go to a police station, that does not mean that there's somebody available to accept custody. Now, there might be jailers. In order for a jailer to accept custody of a prisoner, you basically have to turn in a probable cause declaration, a PCD, to show that there's a legal basis for this person to be in custody. How many of you have ever drafted a PC deck, a probable cause declaration deck? About half of you are saying yes, because about half of you are former law enforcement or current law enforcement. All the others are probably saying, Sean, what the hell is that? My guard card class didn't teach me how to do a PC deck. Okay? So that's one of the reasons. And I'm getting very technical because there's always somebody out there that's going to say, wait a minute, I could just drop them off at the station. There's tons of officers over there willing to accept custody. Why can't I just do that? But I'm just explaining to you through an academic standpoint on why you can't just arrive there at the police station and just drop off prisoners. Those of you who are bail enforcement agents, that's a different story. That person has already agreed in advance for you to take them into custody if they jump bail. There's no probable cause declaration that needs to be turned in. Okay, this person actually agreed to go back into custody if they skip a court appearance. So that's how you guys in bail enforcement are off the hook. That's how you guys in bail enforcement are able to go directly to the local jail facility, county jail facility, and book these guys who are book these guys who are fugitives. But for private security, you're going to show up to the front gates of the county jail, and the jail is not used to accepting prisoners. And this is very important also, they're going to ask for that probable cause declaration. They want to know what the legal basis for an arrest is, and then they're going to want to know, well, why can't you just cite and release this person? This person meets our criteria for cite and release. We're not going to take physical custody of them. The local police department, where the local police agency that is in charge of the jurisdiction where you took this person as a prisoner, their policy usually is to cite and release with a citation, and you're trying to have this person in physical custody. No, you need to go contact them and ask them for what the procedures are. So this is an educational basis. This is my rational basis on why you're not able to just drop your prisoners off at the police station. Also, this is very important, you guys. When you start acting more like a law enforcement officer, you start conducting business that a government official would normally partake in. The 8th Amendment, which is the right against cruel and unusual punishment, that applies to you, even as a private security officer, because you start acting like a state actor, a government official. Nearly all of the case studies, all of the case laws that involve the 8th Amendment being applicable to private persons, these laws almost always involve private security officers who are assigned to correctional facilities, and private nurses, private doctors, who are contractors, who contract their services, and they don't provide adequate medical care. But it's almost always with a custody-like environment. There's a case, I'll leave a link in the description. I will not show a picture, but it's awful. There was a group of prisoners that were transported together along different state lines. This guy had his warrant was for not paying child support, and I'm gonna remain less colorful in my language. Anyway, how he was in the back of the prisoner transport van. It's a private service, and he lost his life. He lost his life due to the private security officer's conduct, and then the conduct of the prisoners that were back with him, in the back seat with him. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm not gonna show pictures. I'm gonna end up getting banned. Not banned, but maybe I might get some strikes on YouTube, and they're gonna put me on the bottom of the algorithm. So I don't want to discuss too much about what happened. Okay, guys, it's not worth it. Okay, and are they paying you extra, the client, to transport these people to jail? Just leave them. Some of you might be arguing, well, the police take a long time. That's a discussion of another video. I know that they take a long time, and we discussed what you can do. Okay, try to properly identify these prisoners. You can ask the local police department to request an arrest warrant later on if you have to let this person go. I just don't think it's worth keeping somebody in our custody, you guys. It's just not worth it. I work for a tribal law enforcement agency. Some would argue it's private security. We kept prisoners in the cells or detention center that we had on the tribal lands for an hour or sometimes 2 hours, depending on how long local law enforcement would show up. But when you have these prisoners, geez, you have to take care of them. You have to feed them. If there's many medications that need to be given, they need to have access to medications as well. They have a right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment. So please try your best not to take custody of prisoners for too long. Do not drop them off to other places. There is an exemption though, and I think this is a good idea, to move your prisoner from one location to another. So if I'm working in an area where there's a lot of gang activity, there's some type of fight and this person committed some type of felony or some type of misdemeanor where this person needs to be charged. If I have this guy's friends, homies, whatever you want to call them, causing a scene because they want to try to free their friend from our custody, I'm going to place this guy in our patrol unit and move to another location. While en route to another location, I will get on the phone, call dispatch, the police dispatcher, and say who I am. We took somebody into custody for this reason. Right now, the police officers are taking too long to respond. Our safety is in danger, so we're moving them to this location. Make sure that they log it down in their notes in the computers systems. That way, later on, if you are in court having to testify why you did so, well, I did so because of these reasons, and here's some proof. If I have to, I will move one prisoner from one place to maybe to another shopping center that's not even on my property. Maybe move them to a government building. Parking lot of a government building. Move them somewhere else. I'll leave the property if my life is in danger. But then again, if your life is in danger, your safety is in danger, would it be worth just releasing that prisoner? And that's a question that you have to decide. Actually, it's a question that your supervisor is going to have to decide. But if you are the supervisor or the owner of your security company, that's a decision that you have to make. Okay, is it really worth moving this person? And for sure, I'm going to turn on my cell phone camera, body camera, and make sure that every single second is being recorded while I move this person from one place to another. It is not illegal to transport your prisoners from one location to another, as I described. If any of you disagree, please cite your statutory authority. Please cite the case law, because I've cited my case laws as well. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm looking forward to the dialogue. If you ran into any of these circumstances, let me know.